Go!
Bacchus.
Yes.
Back off.
Bacchus, yes. This is a round temple, as you can see, and it was a folly. It's a folly like all the other things in the garden because they have no useful purpose except perhaps in the rain. But the idea is that you come across these places and it sets up a mood, and you have a certain mood as you walk through them. I don't know what the mood would be here, but it's like a thing in the forest or something, you know, it's something. And with a rather sinister-looking man there, Pan with his pipe, it sets a mood. So that's what it is. And it's certainly not. I cannot think of any woman garden designer who would have follies in their garden. See, my wife. I mean, this folly, in the end, cost me about the same as a small house in Barnstable would have cost. I didn't realise at the time, but it required so much. Inside, you have to have stainless steel. You had to have a structural engineer. You had to have scaffolding. You had to have people building it. It was quite something, really. And so it was really a folly. Very foolish. But I mean, but I can't think. I mean, a woman is much more practical. I mean, I'm sorry to be, but it's. They want something that is perhaps got some use, and this has no use whatsoever except for emptying my bank account. But to me, it's absolutely essential that I've had this place. If you visit my website and you look at the album called From Mooing to Mowing, you will see that I prepared a circular bed here in 1986, 87, because I knew sometime I would have something here, because it was essential when you walk around. Suddenly you come across this clearing with a temple and Pan, and on the is the Latin inscription on the base, et in Arcadia ego, and I too am in Arcadia. Arcadia being the shepherdesses, the ideal landscape of ancient Greece. And when I had it first, we just set it in concrete and glued it down and bolted it, and I suddenly saw that they'd got it the wrong way around, the Latin. Ego et in Arcadia or something. So I said, stop! So we had to try and take it all off. I had to send it back, and they sent me the one with the correct Latin inscription. Thank goodness I saw it, because it's impossible to take it off otherwise.
Now, can you think of in your classrooms, now we're looking at it's the folly to create a good mood, can you think of something in your classrooms that you have there to create a good mood, an atmosphere? To create a similar kind of atmosphere?
Not necessarily a good mood, it's just so that you have a feeling when you come. It's you evoke a feeling inside you. It's what the garden is all about, is you go to different rooms, and each room has a different feel. All the roses and the rose border, it's quite different from this area, which is a bit shady, and has got the temple and the Turkish tent, which has a lot of colour around it, especially in the next month or so, when all the dahlias are out, bright oranges, reds, scarlets. So all these areas have got different moods to them.
Tanya, can you think of something that you do in your classrooms to create a certain mood which is good for learning English?
Everything can create, but usually if it is a special kind of festival or holiday like St. Valentine's Day, or we have the 8th of March, we somehow decorate the room, or sometimes I put some hearts everywhere and ask students to count how many of them have you noticed, what color are they. Well, it depends of course on the level of students, but yeah, sometimes I bring something that I've just bought. Look, what do you think of it? It's like a nice warmer. Everybody gives ideas, or sometimes I've got just a present box, and they say someone is going to get a present, but it's just to guess what is in the box, and they practice some kind of structures. If they are like elementary level, they say, is there a nice doll inside or something? So you practice some kind of structures, and at the same time they are interested in getting present, you know. That is why, yeah. And that child is really happy when he gets a present just at the very beginning. He is active all lesson long then.
It's like evoking playful mood. And otherwise we can start with music, or just having a piece of chocolate and then trying to make the atmosphere and to taste, to feel, and then to exchange the ideas. at first, probably not to start with talking to each of them in the group, but to divide and let them feel a little bit in a smaller company, for them to start sharing what they feel, and only then to exchange for everybody to hear. So because people just, it seems to me, feel a little bit intimidated when they are to talk in public, and know that many of students do not like that. But when they've got used to, well, so they can easily say. And I have already mentioned, it seems to me, but it's for me, I feel that students tend to speak in English on more personal topics. Because they feel that foreign language is like a shield for them, or like a veil, which is this hiding their personalities.
Yes.
And when they speak in English, they just, they feel safe. As if...
and they're free to say whatever they want, you know. Maybe certain things that they are not allowed, or they are afraid of speaking, you know, in their native language. Yes, definitely.
But see, that's very interesting for me, because I don't know if you know, but a lot of British people are quite sarcastic or cynical in the way they talk to each other. But when I'm abroad or when I meet foreigners, I lose all my cynicism and I become much more, well, not nicer or whatever, much more natural. I don't try and be clever with my conversations. So it works. It definitely is the case what you say.
Also, you talk the language which everybody is expected to understand. That's why maybe you make yourself understandable for others, because you are in a preferable position.
Yes.
Something like that.